You think you win the argument because you have the last word. You think your loud voice proves your power. Look at your reflection. Your face is red. Your breathing is shallow. Your heart is racing like a trapped animal. The weak always react with raw emotion. They scream. They over-explain. They bleed their energy into the room just to prove they are right. The master reacts with absolute silence. Every single time you let a stupid comment, a sarcastic glance, or an internet troll ruin your night, you are giving away your freedom. You wake up, check your phone, and let a random insult dictate your entire chemical state. Congratulations. You have just handed the remote control of your mind over to an idiot. You think you are defending your honor. In reality, you are proving your fragility. True strength does not make noise. True strength is a heavy, frozen mountain. When the storm hits the mountain, the wind screams, the rain beats down. But the stone does not move an inch. From this exact second, you are going to stop playing their childish games. You are going to let them feel the freezing, suffocating weight of your silence. I know the burning sensation inside your chest when someone underestimates you. I understand the toxic urge to sit down, open your mouth, and argue until they finally see your value. You want them to know how smart you are. You want them to recognize your effort. So when a colleague drops a backhanded remark or a family member dismisses your vision, your ego takes the wheel. You stand there for 2 hours, raising your voice, breaking your sweat, trying to convince people who are already committed to misunderstanding you. And what happens when you win the argument? Nothing. They don't respect you more. They just look at you as someone who is easily triggered. You leave the room physically exhausted, mentally depleted, with your dignity dragging on the floor. You are addicted to a dangerous dopamine trap, the illusion of validation through verbal dominance. Every single time someone crosses your boundary, you write long paragraphs on your phone. You draft long emails explaining your motives. You waste your precious cognitive energy playing mental chess against people who don't even know how to play checkers. Look at your life. While you are busy defending your name in petty arguments, your bank account is stagnant. Your body is out of shape. Your grand vision is dying on the back burner. You are trading your focus, your time, and your masculine power for the temporary satisfaction of proving a fool wrong. You are driving your soul into a cage of endless reaction, and you are calling it self-defense. No one is coming to validate your worth, and nobody cares about your explanations. The brutal truth is this: 90% of the people who argue with you do not want the truth. They want your reaction. They want to pull you down into their mud because their own lives are a chaotic, undisciplined mess. If they can make a solid man lose his temper, they feel a temporary sense of control. When you reply to an insult with fury, you are not winning. You are submitting. You are acknowledging that their opinion matters enough to disturb the tranquility of your mind. The older you grow, the more you must accept a brutal truth. The world does not owe you an apology, and it certainly does not owe you an understanding. The market doesn't care about your side of the story. Only results speak. If someone expects anger from you and you give them your fury, you prove you are predictable. And predictability is the absolute hallmark of weakness. Your open mouth is a tactical map of your insecurities. Every time you argue, you are showing the world exactly where your skin is thin. Manipulators love an emotional man. They know exactly which word to throw to make you perform like an animal in their circus. Stop treating every fool like they hold a seat in your court. The moment you stop demanding that everyone understands your trajectory, you reclaim the entire gravity of your existence. Let me show you how an empire was held together, not by words, but by cold, calculated restraint. In the late 2nd century, Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius faced the ultimate betrayal. His most trusted general in the East, Avidius Cassius, rebelled against the throne. Cassius spread rumors that the emperor was dead, gathered Egyptian legions, and declared himself the ruler of Rome. The entire Senate panicked. The streets of Rome were filled with terror and loud debates. Advisors ran into the palace screaming for blood, demanding a massive, public war of vengeance. If Marcus Aurelius had acted on raw, unchecked emotion, he would have launched a bloody civil war that would have torn the empire to pieces. He would have allowed anger to dictate the destiny of millions. Instead, as detailed in the classic historical texts analyzed in Meditations, the emperor chose radical stillness. He did not scream. He did not issue frantic decrees of hatred. He gathered his soldiers and spoke with absolute calm. He stated that he would accept Cassius's return if it meant preserving peace. When Cassius was eventually assassinated by his own officers, Marcus Aurelius did not celebrate. He openly wept that he lost the opportunity to forgive his enemy in person. That is your weapon. Intense tone. Stillness under fire. Here is your 4-step tactical blueprint to execute the sovereignty of silence starting today. Step 1. The 3-second cognitive block. When an attack or provocation lands, freeze your tongue for exactly 3 seconds. Do not open your mouth. Do not alter your facial expression. Unclench your teeth. Let the other person look into a blank, unreadable wall of flesh. The power dynamic shifts the moment they realize their arrow hit nothing but empty air. Step 2. The dichotomy of frame. Understand that you own your mind and they own their words. If someone throws an insult, it resides in their territory. The moment you argue, you invite their poison into your yard. Keep your frame closed. Respond with flat, deadpan metrics. I see. Or, that is your perspective. And return to your work. Step 3. The dark withdrawal. When a relationship or an environment becomes a continuous loop of disrespect, do not announce a fight. Do not explain why you are leaving. Just drop off their radar entirely. Stop answering casual texts. Let your sudden, cold absence be the only statement they ever receive. Step 4. The execution of results. Divert every single ounce of suppressed anger into your assets, your body, and your focus. Train your muscles until they ache. Build your financial fortress until your position is untouchable. Let your undeniable success be the only counter-argument you ever present to the world. Listen closely. The background noise has faded completely. The notifications have gone cold. There is nothing left in this space but the heavy, unshakable weight of your own presence. The clock on your desk is ticking away your life. It does not pause for your hurt feelings, nor does it wait for your enemies to apologize. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, will inevitably arrive. That is an absolute mathematical truth. But when that day comes, who is the man looking back at you in the mirror? Is it someone still crying over a sarcastic comment made by a nobody? Or is it an iron fortress that the world has no choice but to respect? Every bit of disrespect you feel right now, the hidden mockery, the blatant betrayal, the cold dismissals, these are not curses. Look at them clearly. They are the raw, heavy stones thrown at your feet so you can build your own wall of absolute self-mastery. The boy reacts to every spark and burns his own house down. The man stays quiet, collects the heat, and uses it to forge his own empire. You do not need their permission to be a king. The exact second you drop the desperate craving to prove your point to fools, you reclaim the entire gravity of your life. Your focus will no longer be a cheap commodity blown away by a smirk, an unread message, or a bad attitude. Remember Marcus Aurelius standing in his military camp. He had the ultimate power to execute anyone who spoke against him, yet he chose the quiet command of his own soul. He chose his journal. He chose to conquer himself before conquering the horizon. The true victory of a man has never been forcing his opponents to bow down or making his detractors look stupid in public. The ultimate triumph is that when the entire world is screaming in chaos, your mind remains as flat and still as a frozen lake. Untouchable, unoffended. You stand like an ancient cliff against a raging ocean, where every violent wave crashing against your base must eventually shatter into harmless sea foam. The sharp sting of self-restraint or the slow, burning rot of regret. Both will cost you blood. But restraint turns your soul into hardened steel, while regret will eat your masculinity alive until you are nothing but an empty shell of wasted opportunities. The choice has never belonged to them. It belongs to your steps, right in this exact second. Stop begging them to be fair. Stop asking them to be gentle with your ego. Train your spirit to be harder than any weapon they can ever throw against you. Shut down the screen. Step away from the fake validation of their noise. No more arguments. Stop showing them that you are trying to win. Just show them the final empire, when everything has already been executed. Embrace the sovereignty of silence. Move in the dark. And walk like a man who commands his own destiny. If your focus has remained anchored until the final seconds of this decree, you have already stepped out of the chaotic circle of reactive sheep. You are no longer trading your sacred energy for cheap verbal victories. Tonight, seal this boundary deep within your masculine pride. Do not leave a typical comment. Leave a single, unshakable decree. Fortress. Let this be a silent pact with your future self, a declaration that from this hour forward, your tongue will be guarded, your reaction will be denied, and your peace will remain non-negotiable. Stay sovereign and execute in the dark.